Is it recording?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, hi YouTube. This is my first video. I just thought, you know, with it being Thanksgiving and all, that maybe I would help anybody who doesn't know how make pumpkin pie. Now, last year, I made a couple of pumpkin pies, and they were a huge hit, and I made them on this graham cracker crust. I know most people use like a regular pie crust or they make their own homemade, which I'll do another video some other time with homemade pie crust, but right now I'm using pre-made, and I'm going to try a pumpkin pie with an Oreo cookie crust because I like that. Okay, so let's get started. Now to start off, we're going to take 8 ounces of cream cheese. Softened, which means, you know, you just let it set out on your counter for a little bit. Not till it gets warm. You don't want it warm. It should still be cold, but just a little bit softer to make it a little easier to work with, you know. And then just sit over there. And look how cool this can opener is. It's one of the ones that take the lid off. We got this a couple weeks ago. It's awesome. I love it. But you just set it on there and twist it. And watch this. Watch. Okay. And then you take the little claws. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe it shows, maybe my camera girl will zoom in on it, but little clampers. Then you just take it down. Can you see that? Okay. And then ah! Aw, no way. Pause, please. Okay, now that I cleaned up my mess that I made, can't believe that happened, we're going to need 2 cups of canned pumpkin. You can use homemade, like if you puree your own pumpkin, you could do that too. I haven't tried that yet. I'm going to tackle that adventure next year, I think, because I love pumpkin. So I'm going to take this and just dump it in the mixer too. Man, I'm messy today. Just get. I'm using a half a cup, so it's going to take me a couple minutes. I hope you guys can hear me. I'm sorry I talk so quiet. People yell at me for it all the time. And I'm not using a microphone, so sorry. Okay. Okay, so I got my cream cheese and my pumpkin in here. I'm gonna go ahead and mix it up. I'm gonna do this for a good couple of minutes, just to make sure it's all the way mixed together. It's kind of the base of your pumpkin pie, so yeah. Okay, now that's pretty good there. I went ahead and I mixed it up for a good, probably 2-3 minutes. That's pretty good. We're gonna go ahead and add a cup of sugar now. And a half a teaspoon of salt. It's good if you go a little bit over. It's not gonna hurt it, trust me. And then we're going to go ahead and mix that and beat it until it's well blended together. So that looks pretty good. Yeah, I guess you'll see a couple chunks of cream cheese in there, but it's alright. It's fine. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and you want to take 1 egg and 2 egg yolks and mix them together. Just slightly, you don't need to overdo it. We're not making scrambled eggs, it's all good. You can go ahead and dump that in there. And then you need to add a 1/4 cup of butter, melted. I let mine cool too. Melt it and cool it. And then you need a cup of half and half. Oops. But unfortunately I don't have half and half, so I mixed up a good substitute for it, which is four and a half teaspoons of butter mixed with enough whole milk to fill up the rest of the cup. And then you can just mix that in there. Per cup of half and half, so that's good there. And we're gonna go ahead and mix that up. You want to mix that on kind of a low speed. You don't want to you don't want it splashing it. Okay, so that's all mixed up. Now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Just that. And then we're going to do a whole teaspoon of vanilla, which just splattered me everywhere. Okay. And then we're going to mix that up real quick. It's a quick mix for this. Make sure you scrape down the side and see how lose your pumpkin or your cream cheese or your spices on the side of your mixing bowl. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that out and just make sure I got it all mixed up, which it looks pretty good. I'm going to take my mixing bowl out. Just give it one more quick stir. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So I went ahead and let's get this out of here first. Hold on. I went ahead and I opened my pie crust here. Everybody has their own preference, but I like to pull on my edges up. Kind of try to keep the filling inside of it, you know. Graham cracker crusts are kind of touchy, to say the least. Okay, and it's always a good idea to put your pie crusts onto the cookie sheet before you fill them. That way, if you overfill them or do anything that I would typically do, you don't have to suffer the consequences like I do. Or like I have, rather. Okay, so that's pretty good. I'm gonna give it a little bit more filling. I think it can handle it. Hopefully. And kind of try to even it out. Yeah, it's a little overfilled. It'll be okay. Alright. And then we're gonna go take it to the oven. Okay, so are you playing? Okay, so definitely don't put as much as I did because it was way too much. I ended up having to, if you look down here, I ended up having to dump some of it out and clean up my tray. Yet another good reason to definitely put a cookie sheet on underneath. Plus, if you feel like you need to move it at all, of course. Okay, so I'm over at my oven, which I preheated at 350. I'm sorry I forgot to mention that at the beginning of this video, but yes, you need to preheat it at 350. And then we're going to cook it for 50 minutes. So I'm going to set my timer for 50 minutes, and then we'll be back.